Welcome to this flipped classroom model presentation. This is part 1 of the workshop. It is for learning and using the information. You can pause, rewind, speed up, or slow it down. You can jot down your questions as you think of them. After watching, please do the exercise. During part 2, we will do a live Zoom call. It will be a time for questions and answers, sharing your exercise answers, refining your answers, and incorporating them into your job search. Success stories: how to get motivated and stand out from the crowd. Today we'll be going over what is a success story, why write them down, what format should I use, some sample stories, examples of their uses, how many you should collect, where to get them, and some final thoughts. So what is a success story? It's a time in the past where you did something extraordinary, you went above and beyond, you went the extra mile that made a positive difference. It could be to a customer or client, it might have been to a coworker or a manager, perhaps someone at a third-party organization, like a supplier. Or it could have been a personal story, a friend, a family member, a community member. It might even have been a regular occurrence, but this time it got noticed. It might have been something that was perhaps easy for you, but it would have been really hard or impossible for someone else. It may have been a small thing from your perspective, but it was a big deal to them. Why write them down? Because they can be used in all aspects of your job search. You can put them in your cover letter. You should put them on your resume. Use them during networking. Use them for interview answers, as many as you can. Always find opportunities to squeeze another one in. During your annual performance reviews once hired, but also for something else, to boost your self-esteem, to keep you motivated. Also, it can give you career direction. There are so many ways that these can be used. They're incredibly useful. So, important notes. Your job search is not a time for modesty. You need to let people know that you've had successes, you have skills, you will have future successes. The world needs what you have to offer. One of the great ways to do that is through employment. And the way you get employment is by convincing your potential employers that you have had successes. You are now in sales and you need to know all the best features of the product, and the product is you. All good salespeople want to have customer testimonials of how great their product is. That's what these success stories are. So what's the format? It's very simple. It's only 3 points. Situation, action, result. The situation, you set the stage. Where and when did this take place? What was the problem? You want to paint a picture. Action. Talk about the various things you did. What did you do? Ideally proactively. This tells the story. The result. What results directly followed because of your actions? Tell us the happy ending. Everyone likes a story with a happy ending. So here's the first example. A customer was complaining that they'd waited more than 2 weeks for a reply from our sales team regarding information on a product they were interested in. I apologized. The action. I apologized. I got the details. I investigated, and I found out what was wrong. I discovered that it was a combination of a wrong mobile phone number and a generic email address that was not being checked. I let the client know, and I offered a discount on her next order. The client not only continued to order from us, but posted a positive customer service tweet. Number 2, this is a personal example. I used to work in high tech, and we were on a team that was responsible for a whole computer farm. We had 50 machines, and on a regular basis, we needed to reboot them. We needed to get them restarted. What we would do, the process before I came, was we would divide these computers up into groups of 10 each, so we were 5 of us on the team. We would each remotely log on in turn to the remote machine, initiate the restart, log out, log into the next machine, initiate the restart, log out. It would take us, all 5 of us, a good 15 minutes to do this process. I thought this could be automated. I saw there was a need. No one asked me to do this. I knew that I was able to do so. I created a program that a single person could use to do this task in one easy and instant step. I showed it to the team and I showed them how it was to be used, and much time and effort were saved. And more than that, shortly thereafter, I was at home and I wanted to check in on seeing how the processes were going. I remoted into work. I saw that there was a big issue and that these machines needed to be restarted. I wasn't about to call up all my colleagues and ask them to do it. I didn't have to anymore. I got the program I had written, I used it, I rebooted all the machines instantly, and I saved the day. Would have been much harder before that program was written. Story number 3. There was an online help to use an app on the company website. It was poorly written and it was out of date, and it was causing both clients grief in using the app and staff grief in trying to support them. I took the initiative. Remember, the best stories are where you took the initiative. No one asked you, you just did it. Rewrote the documentation. I updated it and made it much easier to follow and understand. What was the result? Clients were able to understand how to use the app, and staff had to spend much less time supporting them as a result. Success. Yours may not be quite like that, but you for sure have helped others in the past. So what's the quote? People often say that motivation doesn't last. Well, neither does bathing. That's why we recommend it daily. So there's going to be many times in your life where you need some motivation and some encouragement and some boost of your self-esteem. Remember, you have skills and abilities. You've helped in the past. You will help again. You can add value. So for motivation, there will be times when you just lack drive. During the job search, let's be honest, job search sucks. It's not just about the constant rejections. These days, it's the constant silence. You keep sending out messages to the world. Look at me, I have skills, please hire me, and you get no response at all. You may even have had an interview, and then silence, nothing. Unfortunately, this idea of ghosting, what started out in the dating world, has now morphed and is now part of the professional world. And I think this is sad. So job search, you need to keep your motivation up. Maybe your current job has lost its former joy and you need to remind yourself of why you're doing this job. Why are you still in this industry? You look at your past successes. Maybe there's some job parts, some unfun parts of your job. Every job has them. If you start focusing on the unfun parts and lose sight again, you might get dispirited, demotivated. Remind yourself by looking at your past successes. Maybe you've had a particularly difficult customer or coworker. Again, these can help. Maybe you're suffering from low self-esteem. Maybe you're feeling that you just don't have it anymore. Again, during the job search, you can start to second guess and doubt yourself. During probation, when we're making some mistakes, and it's expected that during probation because you're new and you're learning, right? So remind yourself. Maybe you've had a large employment gap, and again, you're starting to doubt yourself. Maybe you're at a bridge job too long. What is a bridge job? That's after you've done some career exploration, you've decided on a new career, and during this time you're taking some training, you're getting some experience through volunteering or an internship, but you need to pay the bills, and so you have your bridge job. You need to remind yourself again of your past successes to keep you motivated and moving towards your new career goal. Maybe you made a career-limiting move at work, a CLM. You've made a mistake. Now, it's important here, if you have made a mistake at work, especially a big one, you A, want to make it right, and B, you want to ensure that it won't happen again by changing policies, procedures. After you've done that, review your past successes to remind yourself, sure, I'm a human, yes, I make mistakes, but I've also had successes. I've also helped people. I also have skills. Here's another example used for direction. We talked about career exploration. Review your collection of stories. Look for commonalities. Look for common skills and abilities you've used. Look for values that motivated you. Look for environments and situations you were in. Any other common threads, look at these, and that will help. Write these down. That will give you clues as to what your future direction might be in a new career. An example used during networking. Normally during networking, we're meeting people, we're giving our elevator pitch. Hi, my name is Chris, I have 10 years experience, etc., etc. And then you would go on and you would insert a success story. Many previous clients have told me my workshops are informative and engaging. One said, before your program, I was discouraged and unmotivated to look for work. You encouraged me and helped me discover my strengths. Afterwards, I was able to move forward and get the job I wanted. If you were a potential employer and you heard someone say this, would you not want to give them an interview? I think so. During your resume, so many people on their resume, under their experience, they have their job title, company name, and then they have their duties. And let's say the person was in sales. So their duties were, well, I sold products. Everybody who puts their duties is going to have the same. There's nothing that makes you stand out from the crowd. This is the worst thing to put on your resume. Still bad, but slightly better. Regularly met sales targets. Whoop-de-doo, you met your sales targets. You didn't lose your job. That's the minimum that's expected of you. That's not going to get you noticed. Okay is, I was great at selling products and had repeat customers. Well, that's certainly better than the first two, but that's still kind of middle of the road. What's better than that? Okay, good is frequently exceeded sales targets and expanded the customer base. Now you're getting my attention, but that's still not the best. What is great? A success story is great. Consistently exceeded sales targets by 15% and grew customer base by 5% a month. Now that's going to get my attention. That's the person I'm going to interview. Does that make sense? How many should you collect? At a minimum of 5. I'm sure you have more than 5, especially if you've been in the professional field for a few years. You just need to think back and remember them. As you go through your career, you will collect more. Write them down. Save them. These are gold. At the beginning of your career, maybe you can get them from other areas of your life. Helping others, family and friends, volunteering, personal projects. Maybe you made something that you're particularly proud of. These are success stories. These were using your skills. Write these down. Share them. Where can you get these stories? You think, Chris, I can't think of any. Reminisce to yourself. Think back to your previous jobs. Think back to your colleagues, your previous customers. Think back to times when you were proud of what you did or where someone said something about what you did. Search through any saved emails and thank you messages in there that you might have received. I know a lot of people don't save their work emails when they change jobs, but maybe now saving some of those thank you notes, you can strip out the details of who, but just saving the thing that they said that complimented you on the work you did. There's nothing wrong with that. Looking through old thank you cards or e-cards. E-cards, not so much a thing anymore, but they were in the early days of the internet. So if you have those, absolutely go back to those, right? And if you haven't been saving them, please start saving them now. Look through past performance reviews. Again, a lot of people don't save these. I would encourage you, especially if you're early in your career, start saving these. What stories did you put in them about your successes? And if you haven't been putting your successes in there, please start. Ask people you know. Ask your family. Ask your friends, community members, places you volunteered at, past clients, former co-workers. You can send them an email. Say, hey, can you remember a time in the past where I was especially helpful to you or someone else? Can you please share that memory with me? And I really appreciate your help. So do that today. Do that tonight. Send out that email to your family, friends, former colleagues that you're connected with on email or LinkedIn or other social media. An example thank you note. Dear Sam, thank you so much for going above and beyond yesterday. I was very unhappy with the dress I had ordered. You not only gave me a full refund, you assisted me in finding the perfect replacement, and you gave me 20% off as well. You were professional and courteous. I will tell all my friends about your excellent service. So this is an example. You probably received thank yous from people. Maybe it wasn't a physical note. Maybe it was just verbal. But in any event, or maybe it was an email, save these things. Some final thoughts. These are pure gold, and you need to keep these and use them as often as possible in your job search. Once hired, they can be useful for your performance reviews. You should also keep adding to them over your career. Save the emails, notes cards. Save the positive performance review documents. Write down verbal thank yous that people have given you. All right, so for homework, I want you to rewatch this video if you need to. I want you to write down any questions you have, and we'll answer them during our live session. I want you to take time now to do this exercise before the live session, before part 2. Jot down a list of stories, put them in SAR, situation, action, result format, and I want you to collect at least 5 of them. The more, the better. Thanks so much, and we'll see you at the live session.